Welcome to week 8, everybody. Out here for a little 4.5 mile run, somewhere over 7 kilometers. 10:46 first mile, about 6:35, 6:40 first kilometer. Yeah, 10:46 first mile, probably a little too fast. I'll let you know how the rest of the run goes. All right, almost a mile and a half in. Finished that second kilometer in 13:20 total, about 6:40 a kilometer average pace. Feeling pretty good. Hopefully we can keep it up. All right, just went over 3 kilometers, 20 minutes, 12 seconds, about 6:44 a kilometer average. Coming up on 2 miles here shortly. Just went over 2 miles, 11:04 second mile. So like 21:49 total. We're gonna be on the back half here soon. It's much easier, so hopefully it feels a little bit easier. Uphill got to us a little bit there. So I did 3 miles in 33:09, 11:19 third mile. Decent bit of climbing in that mile, so expected to be a little slower. Heart rate betraying me. Spiked into zone 4 for a bit there while I was climbing. So definitely not back to 100%, because typically I don't get into zone 4 during that section of the run. And then did 5 kilometers in 34:16, 6:51 per kilometer average. So just over 3.5 miles in. This is officially our longest run in 19 days. Not great, but hey, moving in the right direction, more miles than any single run we did last week. So hopefully we're able to stick to the plan a little bit closer this week. I'm still thinking I'm gonna have to make some adjustments, but positivity, let's go. New shoes feel really good. Really liking them so far. Beautiful color. Never had the Aurora green with the light gray before. Kind of digging it. Whew. Just coming up on 6 kilometers. Oh, sorry, past 6 kilometers already. I didn't get the time, apologies. Whew. So, almost done. Just over 1 kilometer left to go. And yeah, that's my watch beeping at me. It's mad at me. Zone 4 heart rate. What can you do? I'm running pretty slow. Oh well. Whew, the pace just keeps getting slower. 4th mile, 11:27, 44:36, 11:09 average pace. Just under half a mile to go. All right, well, 4.5 miles in the books. Like I said, longest run in almost 3 weeks. 50 minutes, 30 seconds, 11:12 per mile average pace. Way too many minutes spent in zone 4. And typically at that pace, I'm mostly zone 2, zone 3, with the majority being in zone 2. So definitely not fully recovered. But it did feel good to be able to go out there and put 4.5 miles in. You know, I couldn't really do that last week, even though I wanted to. Just didn't have the stamina. But yeah, I was able to push through, even though my watch was yelling at me for the majority of the run that my heart rate was rising. So, but yeah, we definitely went out a little too hot. At a sub 11, little 10:46 per mile pace there. That was wishful thinking. We didn't think we were pushing that hard, but apparently we were. So yeah, tomorrow's supposed to be a 40-minute tempo run. I don't know, so I mean basically a 10-minute warm-up and a 10-minute cool down, and then 20 minutes at tempo. It's supposed to be at 10K tempo, which would probably put us somewhere in the 8:40 per mile range. I think we might just go out there and try to do 20 minutes at half marathon pace, around 9:10 per mile. Telling you right now, if we're not able to turn things around here, I don't know if we're gonna be able to break 2 hours and 10 minutes in this half marathon in 5 weeks. So, but progress today. We did the scheduled run that was on the training block calendar, so thumbs up for that. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Thanks. We got the light navy Aurora green. Okay, check it out. Looks nice, looks fresh, yeah. Okay. $11.5. Got some big feet here. So hopefully these will treat us pretty good. 5 weeks to go in half marathon training prep. Looking forward to how these will feel. Tried them on in store, obviously I already know how they feel, but it's always nice to get that bouncy gel feeling back in the midfoot. You know, once you've run in a pair of these for a while, you know, that feeling kind of breaks down. So kind of cool to get that back. So yep, these will be what we're going to be rocking for the next 5 weeks and thereafter. So there you go. Hello, welcome to Tempo Wednesday. Out here in the rain. A couple minutes to go in the warm-up. Not sure if we're going to be able to hit the half marathon tempo pace that we're looking for, but I'll let you know how it goes. Alright, hey, yeah, so I didn't get to record the end of my run there. I was raining pretty steadily. I got some water inside my phone cover, so I couldn't get it to open to get to the camera app to record, but ended up adjusting that run. We did, I guess you call it a 30-minute tempo run. It was supposed to be 40. I think we ended up doing like 31 minutes and 10 seconds. So 3 miles. We probably did just over a mile at tempo. We ran a 10:48, 10:49 warm up and a 10:49 cool down. A little too quick. We were running in a little different area than we're used to. Had a little bit more hills than I bargained for. But we did 1 mile at 9:30. Mile 1 to mile 2. So not quite the paces that we wanted to hit, but closer to our half marathon desired race pace. So heart rate was definitely up there kicking, so it was a good workout. Not quite what was scheduled, but something. So yeah, tomorrow a little 3 mile easy recovery run, and then yeah, we'll get into the weekend, but I'll tell you more about that as the weekend approaches. So all right, talk to you tomorrow. Hello everybody, out here for a little 3 mile easy run, recovery run. It rained a little bit ago, so the temperature dropped, so it feels nice and cool out here. I got some buddies. Oh, some trail buddies right there. Some deer grazing. So when we finish this run, we'll have 10.5 miles finished on the week, already putting us ahead of last week. So progress, improvement from last week and the week before. So hopefully it's a sign of things to come. Now we can get back to where we were the first 5 weeks. So on a side note, obviously I'm training for a road half marathon, but you know, I think once I get my fitness back a little bit and I can improve my like slow easy pace, I think I'd like to take on like one of those backyard ultras where you run like 4.1 miles and you have an hour to do it and you got to do it like every hour on the hour. I think that'd be pretty cool. Any of you guys watching ever done one of those? Let me know what you thought. You know, is it worth it? Should I do a backyard ultra at some point? Drop a comment. Tell me your experience. Or should I just try like a regular 50K like trail ultra? For the metric folks out there, just did 2 kilometers in 13:44. I believe that's 6:52 per kilometer. First mile was 11:09. Gonna try to remember these kilometers when I'm running. So the folks who use metric, you know, which is pretty much everybody outside the United States, if you don't use miles, you don't have to convert. So there's 3 words I put in my YouTube banner that I'm trying to, you know, live by myself for running. You know, and if if you want to get better and stuff, you know, the first word's consistency. You got to keep getting after it. That's how you get better. It's how you get faster. And you know, the second word, kind of interrelated. You got to be dedicated. You know, have some stake in it, so that you stick with it, so you are consistent. And you do those two things, that's going to lead to improvement. So, consistency, dedication, and improvement. So, you know, I'm a little mad at myself for basically not running for a month, and it's definitely put me behind in terms of where my fitness is at. But if I can do those two things, consistency and dedication, I'm going to improve. So I think those are 3 good words to kind of have as my run motto. So what are some of your run mantras or run mottos that you guys use to keep yourself moving, keep yourself out there running? Put it down in the comments, let me know. Look, little baby deer. I think we just scared it off a little bit. Oh, there's another one. So cool to see those when you're out running. So just went over 4 kilometers in 27:30, which I believe is still about 6:52, 6:53 per kilometer. So keeping a pretty even split. Can't be too upset with that. Mile 2 we did in 11:02, and we're in the downhill portion here with 0.4 miles to go. So check in with you guys when I'm done. All right, finished. 3 miles in 33:16. Last mile 11:04. Overall pace 11:05, 11:06. Average heart rate back down into the mid to high 150s, and max heart rate only 172. So both trending in the right direction. Only 6 minutes and 28 seconds in zone 4. Typically we don't spend any time in zone 4, so definitely getting closer to where we used to be in terms of fitness from before we were sick. Still a little ways to go, but we're getting there. Supposed to do a 5-mile half marathon pace run on Saturday. Obviously I don't think we're back to where we need to be actually to hit that half marathon pace, but we'll see how fast we can go and see how long we can hold it. And tomorrow's an off day, but I'll see you guys on Saturday. Hello everybody, out here for the Sunday long run, 10 miles, picked a different trail. This is the trail we did a lot of our Pittsburgh Marathon long runs on. It's a little bit flatter overall than my normal trail. It's still kind of like out and back. On the way out it's hilly, and on the way back it's a little bit of a decrease in elevation, but overall the net elevation change is less, so it makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, I'll check in with you throughout. Just past mile 1 back there, 11:05. Some good shade right now, if you can see. We got some good shade coverage. It's about 74 degrees out here, about 9:30 in the morning, so temperature is definitely going to climb. Probably get into the low 80s by the time we're finished. But yeah, so nice shade for now. Let's enjoy it. Just past mile 2 back there at 11:42. Probably the toughest mile of the entire 10-mile run in terms of the elevation. So hopefully that's the slowest one we put on the books today. And yeah, we knocked it out, so that's good. So wife called right when we went past mile 3, so I didn't get a look at the time, so I don't know what the split was, but I'll look when I'm finished and I'll let you know what it was. Curious myself. But under 2 miles to go now, about 3 kilometers until we hit the turnaround point. Let's go. Eating our first gel, just under 40 minutes in. little Cis isotonic gel, Tutti Frutti. Actually goes down pretty good. Not as sticky as goo or honey stinger. So, I mean, they don't require water, so that's probably why. But yeah, got them for a special deal through completing like one of those Strava challenges through the feed. I got like 20 gels for like $20. Can't beat that. So, highly recommend so far. Whew. Running through Oakdale, Pennsylvania. So, home of another local Pittsburgh running YouTuber, Zach Salek, S-A-L-E-K. Dude's a beast, much younger than I am, runs a lot more miles, runs a lot faster. But yeah, go on over, check out his YouTube channel. He runs this trail a lot. Mile 4, 11:37. The way out on these 5 miles is tough. We're just not in as good a shape as we were when we used to run these miles. So it's pretty taxing. You know, they say comparison is the thief of joy. But we were training for a half marathon last summer. But the race was about a month later, in late September. So we did our 10, 11, and 12 mile training runs in like August and September. And we were running a lot more. We were in a lot better shape. Our easy pace for a lot of those runs was around 10:25 per mile. So, whew, man, I wish I could be running that today. But when you take 31 days off in the month of April, in between the end of February and the beginning of May, you only run 23 miles. This is what you get. It pays to get out there and maintain your miles. So, just a word of advice, don't do what I did, because this sucks. Mile 5, 11:40. All right, well, we shut it down. 5.68 miles in, so just over 9 kilometers. And 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 48 seconds. 11:35 per mile. Somewhere over 7 minutes per kilometer. We have never had to shut runs down like this before in a training block. Typically, we've been in good enough condition to hit all the training runs that are on the schedule, even if they're slower than we wanted. But our quads are just shot. 5 miles out it's not that bad in terms of elevation compared to my normal route, but just not used to it. It's been a while since we run this trail, so we're not in nearly as good a shape. So take a little walking break here and then try to run in maybe the last 4 miles. This is brutal. All right, let's get this back. Took about a 15-minute walk break, got the heart rate down, took another gel, got some water with some Nuun hydration in it. That's what we've been carrying in the backpack. We got just a little bit more than 3.5 miles to go. So that's gonna put us at 9.25 miles or so in total for running, which, yeah, it's something. All right, well, this is gonna be a walk run to the finish. I just don't have any gas in the tank today to run this thing out. Probably should have got started a little bit earlier this morning when it was a little bit cooler and the sun was lower. If you've been following the vlog, you know I'm not a morning runner, so the fact that I got out here and started before 9:30 is kind of a moral victory, but it's kicking our butt now. So, whew, we just ran a kilometer in about 7:15, so we've done about 6.3 miles of actual running. We got about 3 miles to go. Whew, this is tough. First time ever in a training block we haven't been able to do what we've set out to do more than once or twice, so several times now. It's demoralizing, but that's the ups and downs of being a runner. Sometimes you're on that euphoric runner's high, and sometimes you're in this pit of despair. You're at an all-time low. So just got to keep showing up, keep being consistent. We'll get back to where we used to be and then some. So, whew, thanks for following along, and sorry I wasn't able to get this done as I was supposed to. back running for a little bit, but it's amazing. I start running and then under a minute in, my heart rate just skyrockets into zone 4, 170 plus. So, I mean, part of it is, you know, we ran 23 miles in March and April, and that's it. But I think the other part of it is we're not 100% recovered from being sick either. Like everyday life, we feel recovered, but our cardiovascular system is like, nah, you're not back yet. So, whew, it's a challenge, that's all I can say. So that walk run mile was 13:03. I think we have just over 2.5 miles to go. So probably gonna be putting up similar paces for these last couple miles, because I think we're gonna definitely be taking some more walk breaks. Maybe we'll run for like a kilometer, take a breather, and then finish the mile, so on and so on. Whew. All right, last mile, 13 minutes, 16 seconds. So close to the 13:03 previous mile. I think we're about 8.3 miles in on this 10-mile day. So just under 1.7 to go, just under 3 kilometers. So I'm gonna try to walk around this one like we did the last two. Whew. Heart rate jumped to 190 there for a second during that last bit of running. So they settled down back into low 170s, but brutal. As you can see, full sun out here. Very little shade. I'd say 50% of this run's in the shade, 50% of it's in the sun, but it's brutal when it's in the sun. Under a mile and a half to go. Whew, we are dead. We are dead. 1 mile of hell to go. Whew, we're gonna take a little walk break and try to finish the last half mile running. Whew. Check in with you guys when it's over. Last mile, 13:21. Last 5 kilometers, 40 minutes, 46 seconds. Whew. So forgot to check in with you guys there at the end of the run. I was just so glad it was over. But we did the last 3.68 miles in about 48 minutes. I think it's just over 13 minutes per mile. You can check the Strava. But so recorded data, I think we got like 9.36 miles in total recorded. We had a little walk break in there between part 1 and part 2 that I just didn't record. So yeah, the first 5.68 miles at 11:35 roughly per mile pace. There was a short little walk break in there that kind of got added to the end, so maybe a little bit faster, not by much. So yeah, just brutal overall. So I think we did 9.36 miles in just under an hour and 54 minutes. So yeah, not very quick, but finished the week. You know, we did actually get 10 miles and we just didn't record part of it. So close to 25 miles in total volume for the week. So pretty pleased with that. First week that we've been able to kind of get back to the volume that we're supposed to be running. So moving in the right direction. 4 weeks to go from today until the half marathon in Canton, Ohio. Yeah, right now not looking good for breaking 2, so we might have to bring back this series when this half marathon is over. But I don't know, we'll see. The closer we get, maybe we change it on the fly to sub 205 potentially. But again, we'll see how the next month of training shakes out, the next 3 weeks specifically, because the final week will be a taper where we're basically only running 9 miles leading up to that Sunday half marathon. So, but yeah, if you've followed along this long in the video, appreciate it. Leave a like, consider subscribing, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next week.